Hello, and thank you for watching the introduction to Mobia, the complete warehouse and production floor solution with total traceability. My name is Dave Miller, and I'm the product manager for Mobia. Today we're going to be doing just a quick explanation about who we are and where our company comes from. We'll do an overview of Mobia's functions, what it will actually accomplish, and then talk a little bit about the features and technologies, and we'll kind of differentiate those for you, and then a quick review of the Mobia. All right, who we are and where we come from. We routinely write articles for our companies for organizations like the Institute of Food Technology, GMA, ADPAI, and we work with the National Centers for Food Protection and Defense. We've been asked to speak before Congress. We're very involved in a number of areas that deal with traceability. Certainly a lot of food, pharma kinds of things. We've spent over 12 years and millions of dollars in creating inventory production traceability solutions. For over a decade, our solutions have been helping to keep some of the world's largest and most successful manufacturers and distributors safe, legal, and profitable. And the goal behind Mobia was to move that software, which was only accessible to very large companies, and put it in the hands of smaller companies by leveraging the power of the Internet. I'll give you a small sampling of some of our companies that we've worked with. In an effort to keep this overview very short, we don't go into a lot of detail here. If you'd like more information, we have videos that specifically address areas, for instance, the receiving area and production and tank management and integration, those kinds of things. And we request that you refer to those videos to get additional information. All right, what our browser-based software does, and browser-based is important because we do use browsers for our interface. You may decide to let us host that for you, or you may decide to host that yourself. But either way, functionality includes things like inventory control, and that's the things around standard WMS warehouse management types things and distribution. It includes manufacturing, and that's everything from recipe management, formula management, to coordination of raw materials into production and finished goods out, and the consumption of packaging materials, etc. Tank and blend management. This is things like silos for powders and liquids, and generally also includes packaging areas. We record both the production and the consumption of the material, and we wrap that all within our traceability. We do a HACCP and a light amount of QA and QC. HACCP, by the way, is a term used more in some industries. It stands for Hazardous Analysis Critical Control Points, and it's related to QA QC. Tool room management, essentially for those companies that are large enough to have a tool room that's managed, we can handle that. And then wrapping around all of that and in everything that happens inside of Mobia, we have track and trace, or traceability, whichever term you prefer, genealogy, and recall support. And that's essentially from any point to every point traceability. And that means it can start from a raw material lot or a delivery date of a raw material all the way up to a finished good and delivery date to your customer, or it can start from your customer and go backwards to the raw materials, or you can pick any point in between. All right, overview of the features and technologies. Mobia can run, the client can run on virtually any device with a modern browser. If you can get to the Internet, you can pretty much get to your Mobia information. And that includes things like PCs and Macs, but also things like tablets, be it iPads or Zooms or whatever you have there, e-readers, cell phones, and then standard commercial devices that you would find in a normal warehouse or production environment, for instance, Intermec devices, Symbol, Honeywell, etc. We have tested and continue to test and run Mobia on from a workstation, a big box station. We run it on IE. We are running on IE9 right now. Firefox, Mozilla, Chrome, Safari, and Opera. So we've got a good selection there. There are probably a couple of hundred browsers out there, and we obviously can't test them all, but this seems to be a good fit. On handheld devices, we may indeed run on others, but what we test on is Droid and in particular Opera Mini. And Opera Mini on our handheld device is kind of our standard, because the Opera Mini browser runs on a huge variety of devices. So if you want to know if we will work on your particular phone / terminal / handheld device, if you refer to the Opera Mini specs, if you can run Opera Mini, the answer is yes, we can. All right, Mobia is really designed to allow you to, your guys, your own folks, and that may be internal staff or your local folks, to extend and personalize it for you. The goal here was to make sure that when you come with Mobia, that you're not locked into a particular platform that you can't change. It's really designed with the idea of allowing you to extend it, add features to it, shut features off, whatever. I'm going to give you an example of two screens where we're doing just that. It's essentially the same data, but we have two different views for the customer to choose from. All of this was something that his folks were capable of doing. Here's one version of the screen, and it was a button laid out. We've also seen people do this with kind of folder motifs, etc. This particular one, it was essentially find the function with a button and click it. And another one did, this is what we would refer to as more of a process-oriented screen, where it looks a little busy for those people not used to looking at these, but all the functionality is there, and all they have to do is zero in on the function they want to perform and click that. The thing to take away from this is that from our standpoint, these two screens essentially do the same thing. The programmer, again, your programmer, can set that up so that it's very easy to run one or the other. All right, and for the geeks amongst you, I will say that, for instance, those screens were done on a standard HTML. We also use for business logic that gets a little more complex. We have a number of features inside of XML that you can change, and you do have access to all of our screens, and they're all defined with XML or HTML. We use standard SQL when we are working in database types of things, so you have access to that. We also give you access to our business logic function calls, so everything that we've used to develop the product, you have access to. Our reports are easily created with a report generator that we've built, which is essentially HTML, but you can also use your own tools, Crystal reports or whatever, to generate your own reports if that's what you'd like to do. All right, and lastly here, integration and protection. Every customer or company has their own database. Every company has their own directory for files, so you're not mixed in with everyone else's. Mobia can exchange data from spreadsheets with, can exchange data with your spreadsheets, and we can exchange data with other programs, so ERP or your accounting systems or whatever, and that's typically done during using web services. We do have some people that actually exchange data using the spreadsheet format, and that's perfectly valid, although the web services is obviously a little more sophisticated. Customers have access to the Mobia database, to their database version and core functionality, and the database is backed up directly. And lastly, you do have SSL protection for those secure socket layer for those of you who are into that